Sunday morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard this loud crash. And I thought my cat, Tuffy Lovekins, had knocked a big lamp over in my living room. And when you're sound asleep, and you don't know who you are, what you are, or where you are, and I jumped out of bed and I hit my touch lamp and said, "Tuffy, what have you done?" This mark was right in my doorway, in my bedroom doorway. He had a hoodie on, pulled down over his face, and he had a gun pointed at me. And I let one blood-curdling scream. I didn't even know I had that kind of a scream inside me. And he said, "You scream one more time, I'll kill you right here." And he proceeded to make me kneel down in front of my bed. And he took a pillowcase off my pillow and put it over my head. And then he lifted me up onto my bed and he took my pajama bottoms off and he started fondling me and doing oral sex. And proceeded to rape me. And then I don't know how long this really took place, because I believe God just separated me from what was going on. And I told him I had to go to the bathroom. And so back in my master bedroom, he put me in to let me go to the bathroom. But halfway through what I was doing, he lifted me off the bathroom toilet and pushed me into the tub, where he proceeded to wash me. And then after he did that, put me back on the bed and proceeded to rape me again and tried to sodomize me with the barrel of the gun. He sodomized me with himself. And then when he went to do it with the gun barrel, I put my arm behind me and he hit my arm. I have a little indentation here. And I had a hematoma that was out to here. I didn't even realize all the bruising and the biting that he had done to me until I got to the hospital. But anyway, through the whole thing, I have a very strong faith. And I prayed to God and Jesus not to let me die this way. I didn't want my son or my other family members or friends to have to live with the way that I might have died. I'm not afraid to die, but I wasn't going to go that way. When he was finished with me, he put me back on the bed. Everything was done from behind, and he had me out on my bed like this. And he covered me up with all my bedding, and he goes, "Do you know your family?" And I said, "What?" He said, "I know your family." He said, "You say anything about what happened to you here?" He says, "I'll take them out, I'll come back and I'll kill you." And when I realized he closed the door, I just said the Lord's Prayer, reached for my phone and dialed 911.
A number of officers were able to respond. We had a lot of things going for us. There was snow on the ground. We were able to follow footprints. The person was intoxicated, so they weren't thinking clearly. They made a lot of mistakes, including dropping personal items. So within a very short time, we zeroed in on the person that was responsible.
And when the police came in and the detectives, I said, "I have a gut feeling." And I said, "I'm going to go with my gut feeling." And I said, "But I don't like pointing fingers, but I think you're going to find him right next door." And I described what he had on. He had on a dark brown hoodie, dark pants, and like boondockers, I call them, boots.
Linda, for the trauma that she went through, did a phenomenal job at telling us what happened. And that doesn't happen in every case. I mean, oftentimes you have to rely on the evidence to tell you what happened because the person is unable to. We were able to, through our investigation, corroborate what she said. You know, we brought in the state police evidence recovery team. They spent all day processing the inside of the scene. We processed the outside. We were able to, indicate that he walked all the way around the house, that he came in through the air conditioner, how he did that. She said there was a firearm. We initially didn't find that, but we continued to look. We continued to follow footsteps. As a result of that, we located the discarded pellet gun, which looked very real. And certainly at night when somebody's broken into your house, you would not question at all whether or not it was real. So all of the evidence came together very nicely to support Linda's story and just take apart any defense that Mark Halley would have had.
I went in and introduced myself and told her what I did and what our services were, and kind of gave her a little synopsis of what was going to happen, how long it could take, just all the kind of pros and cons of having the exam. And she wanted me to stay in there, so I did.
Oh, they were so good, and they put me at ease. If I could be at ease, I finally stopped shaking. I couldn't stop my body from trembling, but after a while, but my sense of humor kicked in. And they had me in more positions than I can count. Modesty left the building. And in the meantime, an RN was helping Sherry. Her name was Sally. And she was doing all the swabbing and everything. And Sherry was standing there with the camera taking pictures. And I don't know where this came from, but I said, Sherry? And so everything stopped. And she said, yes, Linda. And I said, I don't want to see these pictures on Facebook in the morning. I don't know why I did that. But I think God gives you a way of coping, and I think humor was my way of coping.
She was a patient who was very good at talking about her history, not necessarily her life history, not the assault, although she was very good at describing the assault. And that is something you don't see in a lot of patients. She was very good at being able to box it, shall we say, so that it was in one place and her life was going to go in another direction.
I said to the judge, I want to speak because he keeps declaring through his lawyer that he doesn't remember what he did to me, that he was only here to rob me, and then he had sex with me. I said, I want to clear everything up. I want him to know when he's sitting in prison for how long you're going to sentence him today, that he knows exactly why he's sitting there, from start to finish. And that's what I did, from start to finish, I told him. And Judge Stokes said, you're not a victim, you're a survivor. And that's when he ended up sentencing him. 27 years, plus 10 years of supervised probation. If he has one minor infraction during that 10 years, he goes back. And a lifetime registration as a sex offender.
For her to be able to get up and read her impact statement, and for her to be able to talk with the news afterwards and have a short little interview just shows how strong she is. But I think part of that too is because she had that support there, knowing that, if she needed to turn to someone, one of us was there, one of her supports.
I have nothing to be ashamed of. I said, this happened to me, but if there's anything that I can do or say that will help someone else.
It feeds her, it feeds her healing, it feeds her soul to be able to talk about what happened, because if it's going to make a difference for anyone else or bring awareness to anyone else, I feel like that, I would call it a heart smile, makes her heart smile.
I talked to Jenna McCarthy and said, I want to take your sexual assault advocate course. And I took the course and I got my certificate. It helped me to gain more strength, believe more in myself and my capabilities and how to stay strong. And like I've said before, I'd like to be able to help anybody that's been unfortunate enough to be in this situation.